You know, every business today is practically swimming in digital stuff. We're talking documents, videos, audio files, you name it. But what if the single most valuable insight for your company is buried deep inside one of them? Well, today we're going to explore a tool that's basically designed to be your digital treasure map.
I mean, just think about it for a second. Every single decision, every workflow, every big strategic move your company makes, it's all powered by information. It's the fuel in the engine, right? Doesn't matter if you're a tiny startup or a massive global enterprise.
But here's the kicker, the really good stuff, the most valuable information, it's almost never sitting in a neat, organized spreadsheet. No, it's locked away in countless unstructured files. Think contracts, customer service calls, marketing videos, product photos. It's like a chaotic digital library, and finding what you actually need can be a huge headache.
And that really is the billion-dollar question, isn't it? How do you take all this digital clutter and turn it into actual usable strategy? How do you make it work for you instead of just, taking up expensive server space?
So what if you had a kind of universal translator? Not for different languages, but for different types of data. That's really the core idea behind a tool called Amazon Bedrock Data Automation.
So what is this thing? And let's just call it BDA for short. What is it at its core? Well, it uses generative AI to essentially read, watch, and listen to all that content for you. It intelligently pulls out the crucial bits of information and then organizes everything into a clean, structured format. Basically, it turns chaos into something your other software can finally understand and actually use.
Now, BDA gives you two main ways to go about this whole translation process. It really just depends on what you need. Either a quick, standard analysis or a super specific, custom extraction.
And I love this analogy they use, the easy button versus the custom order. The standard output, that's your easy button. You just feed BLDA a file, hit go, and it automatically spits out common stuff like a summary or a transcript. Super fast. But the custom output, that's where things get really, really powerful. That's your custom order, where you tell it exactly what you're looking for. And how do you place that custom order? You use something called a blueprint, and honestly, this is the key to unlocking its real power. A blueprint is just what it sounds like, a list of instructions. You tell it, hey, from this document, I need the vendor name, the invoice number, and the due date, and I need that date in this specific format. It's exactly like an architect's blueprint for a house, but this one is for building data.
Okay, so the theory is great, but let's see how this actually works in the real world. Let's dig into a few use cases and see how this whole thing goes from just a pile of raw files to creating some real, tangible business value.
All right, first up, a classic business bottleneck, processing documents. I mean, just try to imagine the mountains of invoices, receipts, and contracts that someone, a real person, in your company has to manually read and then type into a system. It's a massive time sink.
And here it is, that transformation in action. Look at this. On the left, you've got this messy chunk of text from some random invoice. Then on the right, that's the BDA output. Clean, perfectly labeled data. The AI has found each key piece of information and put it in the right box, all ready for your accounting software. The whole manual data entry step, it just, poof, vanished.
The benefits here are just so immediate and obvious. You save a ridiculous amount of time, you drastically cut down on typos and other costly human errors, and the structured data can just flow directly into your other systems. It lets you process thousands of documents in the time it would take a person to maybe do a handful.
Okay, now let's shift gears from text to something even more complex, video. Companies are creating more video content than ever before. But trying to understand what's actually inside all those files, especially at scale, it's incredibly difficult.
So BDA breaks this down into a really simple three-step process. 1, you just feed it a video file. 2, the AI watches it, automatically creating summaries of each scene, spotting any logos that pop up on screen, and even flagging content that might be inappropriate for your brand. And 3, all that structured metadata becomes actionable.
So why does this matter so much? Well, it means you can automatically make sure your ads don't show up next to unsafe content. You can place ads that are actually relevant to what's happening in the video. And, this is a big one, you can turn your entire video library into a searchable database. I mean, imagine being able to just search for every single video where your company's logo appeared.
All right, for our last use case, let's look at how BDA can make other AIs, like the chatbots and virtual assistants we're all starting to use, much, much smarter.
Now I know, this quote sounds a little technical, but the idea behind it is actually really simple. AI assistants, like chatbots, they often need to find answers in a big pile of documents, like your company's internal knowledge base. BDA basically acts as a preprocessor. It reads all those messy documents first and creates a clean, structured summary that the assistant can then search through in a flash to find the right answer to a user's question.
And the result is just a much better experience for everyone. The AI assistant gets richer, more accurate data to work with, which means it can answer way more complex questions, even about what's inside an image or a video. And ultimately, that improves the quality and the trustworthiness of the answers it gives you.
Okay, so let's zoom out and really look at the strategic impact of all this. What does it actually mean for a business to finally get a handle on all of its unstructured data?
Okay, you gotta hear this. I found this one little detail that really shows how flexible this system is. A single BDA project can handle up to 40 different document blueprints at the same time. That means you can just dump a whole folder full of mixed files, invoices, receipts, W-2s, passports, whatever, and it will automatically know which blueprint to use for each one. That is incredibly powerful.
When you boil it all down, this is the core idea. BDA is designed to take what is often a company's biggest liability, all that messy, chaotic digital clutter, and transform it into one of its most valuable strategic assets.
So, if you remember just one thing from all this, let it be this. This kind of technology helps your business become faster by automating all that tedious work, smarter by uncovering insights you never knew you had, and way more efficient by plugging that new intelligence directly into the workflows you already use.
And that really just leaves us with one final thought. Every single organization has this treasure trove of information just sitting there in documents, videos, and audio files waiting to be unlocked. So the real question is, what secrets could you discover in yours?